Hello and welcome. It's Nomadic Shaman here. Thank you so much for visiting my page. Today's video is going to be centered around spiritual inheritance, what it is, what that looks like, and how that would show up for you. Okay, so to start, let's read the definition. I have a couple of definitions I wrote down that I found online to define inheritances. Okay, so the first being the reception of genetic qualities by transmission from parent to offspring. That's the first definition. The second, the acquisition of a possession, condition, or trait from past generations. Now, spiritual inheritances work very similar. You've probably heard the phrase as above so below, or above is below, which essentially means what takes place and what transpires on the spiritual realm is reflected on the earthly realm, earthly plane, earth, okay? Now, as far as spiritual inheritances, what does that look like? Well, that can look like access. That can look like keys. That can look like access to keys. Now, what are some of those keys? These keys can look like talent, abilities, gifts, intuition, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, downloads, ideas, intelligence, okay? Just to name a few. Now I'm going to share 3 examples of how spiritual inheritances plays out. The first, let's say you go to sleep, you wake up with this grandiose idea to start a business. You start the idea, you've implemented it. 3 to 5 years down the road, you are making beaucoup d'argent, okay? This is an example of a spiritual inheritance that was downloaded to you through your dream state by your spiritual team, okay? That's the first example. Another example of spiritual inheritances, let's say you have a matriarch of the family. Matriarch of the family was a healer before she transitioned. Nurse, doctor, practitioner, medicine woman, shaman. Okay, now that she's transitioned, she's in the spiritual realm. She now has a bird's eye view of what's taking place here on earth. She now can identify the next best suitable person to pass on her gifts to. Okay, her gifts of healing, her knowledge of healing, her understanding of healing, her intuition, her wisdom of healing. Okay, the individual that she selects generally tends to be a black sheep. Okay, a black sheep meaning a person or individual who's not afraid to step out of the box, to break the mold. Okay, and a lot of that is needed in order to break generational curses. So who is going to be the next best suitable person that's going to be able to fulfill their calling in being that black sheep, stepping out of the box to be able to break generational curses for the betterment of the family? Okay, that's my second example. Third example would be a trust. So we know how trusts work where, before you become a particular age, it's held for you, okay? The funds or the assets are not released until you are of age. How it works spiritually would be replace age with wisdom, okay? So now you're having to traverse life lessons, enough life lessons, okay, before you are able to gain the wisdom needed. Now that you have the wisdom, the light bulb is going off. Now you are moving differently. You moving differently brings on rewards. Those rewards brings on activations. Those activations brings on wealth in abundance through connections of people, places, things, talents, abilities, gifts. Okay, so that's another example of spiritual inheritance through the form of trust. Okay, spiritual trust. So that wraps up spiritual inheritance, my video, spiritual inheritance. Feel free to comment, like, share, and follow. And with that, I'm out, guys. Until the next one.